If you're driving down I-5 on your way to the Sacramento airport, you see this enormous facility on the side of the freeway with Nivagen Pharmaceutical. And I've known Jay for a while, but I didn't really ever come down and tour the facility. And what you're building out is nothing short of highly impressive. And now I'm here with Jay Shukla. He is the founder and CEO of Nivagen Pharmaceuticals. And probably many of you did not realize that we have this significant pharmaceutical manufacturer right here in Sacramento. And so we're going to tell the entrepreneurial story of Jay and Nivagen and how it got to be where it is today. So welcome back to the show, Jay. We've been doing this at your facility. We are doing this at your facility. And so we got the tour and it is very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you're driving down I-5 on your way to the Sacramento airport, you see this enormous facility on the side of the freeway with Nivagen Pharmaceutical. And I've known Jay for a while, but I didn't really ever come down and tour the facility. And what you're building out is nothing short of highly impressive. And we got the tour, and there's a lot of technical things that you do here in making pharmaceuticals. And so I want to start off with maybe just like how you got to here and maybe a little bit of the journey. And then I'll sort of interject some dumb questions because I don't know anything about pharmaceuticals other than what you've taught me today.
Yeah, no, so Mark, thank you. Thank you, first of all, for coming and visiting us. As you can see, we've been working hard.
Yes.
And the journey, I think, started around 2009. I had my twins were born in September. And I was like, if I have to do anything right now, this is the time. Once they get a little older and, once you start getting into the school and college, I think it's going to be very difficult. So if you want to take a risk, this is the time.
Okay.
Right?
Where were you at that time? What did your life look like? Maybe before the decision, before the initial risk, let's say. Right. What did your life look like at that time?
So I am a pharmacist by trade, right? And I worked in a different pharmaceutical industry setting. Like I worked as a retail pharmacist. I worked for the government as a formulary guy.
Okay, so government of the United States?
No, Sacramento, the Department of Healthcare Services.
Okay.
I was, a pharmacist there. I worked in buying groups. So I had a kind of a overall understanding of the industry, right? And I pretty much had some ideas. Goal was to bring quality medicine at an affordable price. That was the goal at that time. And there were a lot of products where you can make a generic drugs much cheaper, same quality, right? And you can reduce the cost. Right? Mm-hmm. And at that time, knowing the industry, being a pharmacist, right, I had these little diamonds that you call it in the universe of product, that you see that, there is an opportunity here. If you develop this product, you can.
There's not a good generic alternative to the name brand,
right.
And the timing was right where you could be the first to market on this. Okay.
So you can be first to market. Sometimes there was supply chain issue. There were sometimes like a company bought another company. Now, two merged together, mm-hmm. And then there was a price increases. So you see this opportunity. So initially we were what you call the virtual company. Virtual means like we didn't do development.
Okay.
We didn't do any manufacturing. We didn't even do sales marketing. Everything was virtual. It was a concept that, okay, this product has so-and-so dollar value in the market. There is no competition, right? What if we develop this product? Even if we reduce the cost by 25-30%, we're still going to make profit, mm-hmm. right? Then we'll go to the contract research company, and we will hire them to do contract research for us. Then we'll go to CMO, contract manufacturing organization. They'll manufacture it for us, right? And then I will out-license that product to some third party
Okay.
and have a royalty revenue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
So didn't have to have a lot of employees, a lot of facilities or anything like
very
that.
asset light company. Just like we had like three, 4 people running the show, and the first product that I picked, it was nothing but an acne product, benzoyl peroxide,
Okay.
but it was available in the foam. So normally you get a gel and cream, but the foam, there was no generic, and somehow it was highly priced than the cream and gel, right? There are some advantages to foam, right? So I developed that foam, contract manufactured it in Riverside, and out licensed it, and I got like almost $500,000 of royalty in first quarter.
Okay.
So the first quarter of opening the company, boom, you got
A royalty, that's 100% margin because
Yes.
you don't really
Right.
have a cost of goods or anything.
right.
So-
And so at that time, I kind of thought, look, I know many of these little gems in the market, right? Why don't we just do this, right? So we developed 3 more product like that. But what we learned is that in pharmaceutical industry, without having a control on your own R&D, you sometimes don't reach on time, and you
Okay.
needed a control on your R&D. So you can out license or outsource your R&D, but then they work on their time, they make mistakes, right? So we decided that we're gonna start our own in-house R&D. We're gonna still outsource the manufacturing, we're gonna outsource the sales marketing, but R&D we're gonna keep it to ourselves, right? So we opened the lab in Davis. So we have R&D lab in Davis, right? It was a sublease of an existing lab,
Okay.
and that's where we started developing our product. Also, what we learned is that we were like going after the small product, not too complex.
Okay.
But with our own R&D, we started getting into complex development. Like more injectable, more sustained release. Things like
Okay.
that. Right?
Okay.
And then model was to outsource the manufacturing, but the sales and marketing also, we learned that when we out-licensed the product, when the product had a good margin, partners were, aggressive in selling, but as the margin went down, they were moving on to other products.
Less motivated to
Less
to sell,
motivated.
yeah.
So we thought that it might be good to have our own sales marketing. So we set up our own distribution. We set up the warehousing, sales team, got all the vendor agreement done with Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, all the big guys, right? And then now we have R&D in-house, we have a sales and marketing in-house. But the contract manufacturing was still outsourced, right? And what happened was that in around 2020 or so, we had a really big $200 million product that we developed. We outsourced it to CMO, and then the pandemic happened, right? Okay. And during pandemic, FDA won't go to foreign CMO to inspect. And until FDA inspect the CMO, you don't get the approval. So it kind of hold our approval for almost 2.5, 3 years. And that kind of had like almost $100 million effect on us. Like that was our one very big project, right? So at that time I decided that, you know what, we're not going to depend on anybody. We're going to have everything ourselves. So we're going to build our own manufacturing unit. Yeah. And that's where we started all this.
Yeah, no, you, along the way, you developed a business unit that sold to a public company, right? You had a division that you ended up selling?
Yes, so that's another unique story. That was like kind of a strategic move. So what happened was that there is a sterile compounding. It's called 503B compounding pharmacy. Okay, so when the drug is in a drug shortage, FDA allows you to do sterile compounding in these compounding pharmacies.
Okay,
right? And we do know manufacturing, we know R&D, we know regulatory, right? So we thought this is a nice little niche area, and so we acquired the facility in LA. which was a sterile compounding pharmacy.
Okay.
And what happened was that at that time, semaglutide, the Ozempic,
Yes.
came into drug shortage. So we could compound semaglutide
Gotcha.
in the compounding setting.
Okay.
Right.
And as it's getting popular.
Right. And at that time, this big publicly traded company also entered the weight loss market.
Okay.
And they wanted someone to manufacture it. Right. And that was like a perfect kind of, situation for us. Right. So they pretty much came and say, hey, can you do contract work for us? And I looked at their numbers and I'm like, looking at your number, it seems like you might be better off just buying us, right? Than being, us. And at that time, I was also building this.
Okay.
So we wanted to stay focused on what we do. So we thought, okay, fine, let's just sell this. So we
Gotcha.
sold the compounding pharmacy in LA
Okay.
to this company.
And then so that you could refocus on
Yes.
what your long-term vision is.
Yes.
So right now, what I toured today in this, what is this, 100,000 square foot building, has the plan is to make injectable stuff like morphine, ketamine. They're liquids, and there's this huge control. We had to get in, put on the little suits and the masks and all this stuff so that we didn't contaminate anything. So building out a facility like this is obviously, there's a lot of care associated with making sure molecules or dirt or whatever doesn't get into the system.
Correct.
That's an extensive process.
Yes, it's an extensive process and we are using the latest technology. There's something called isolator technology where the manufacturing lines are within the isolator, right? So this is what you call the most advanced sterile manufacturing processes is what we're following here. And what we're doing in terms of the product is that in the hospital, when you go to hospital, sometimes certain product can only be given through IV route, in IV bag, right? But they're not available in IV bag. They are available in vials. So what happens is that in the hospital pharmacy, they'll take the bag, they'll take the vial, and they'll do the compounding.
Okay.
In the hospital. The problem what you have there is a lot of medical error. Second, that is not what you call a sterile GMP kind of environment, right? Second is that when you compound the product, you can only use it for one day. After that, if you don't use it, you have to throw it away, right? Third thing is that also you need the compounding pharmacist, technician, right?
Okay.
So it all adds to the cost,
Right.
for the hospital. So what we do is that we look at the product and we say, okay, this product is always diluted, right? So we prepare this product in IV bag. We go through FDA approval process and we provide FDA approved product which is manufactured in this kind of environment, and it has a 2-year shelf life.
Okay.
Right?
And it comes in the IV bag
Yes.
itself versus in the little vial
Yeah.
where you have to mix it from there.
Yes. So
Gotcha. So it's convenient, very
it's
convenient. And so it's, probably saves lives because it's pre-mixed, pre-checked, and you don't have somebody working, a clinician at the hospital trying to make the stuff.
Right. And also we have a little bit of strategic advantage because if you're a foreign manufacturer shipping 500 ml water from overseas,
that's not cost effective.
Not cost. They cannot compete with us, right?
Yeah.
So in tablets and capsule, we don't have advantage, but here we have advantage.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you and I were talking beforehand because I was curious if the tariffs that the Trump administration is putting on or threatening to put on is causing challenges for you or opportunity. Why don't you share with the audience what tariffs do at a time like now for the pharmaceutical industry specifically? Who could be a winner and who is looking to find opportunity?
No, I think that this should have been done 10 years ago because we have lost the core manufacturing capabilities in last 15 years.
So yeah, the people that make the pharmaceuticals, they're in India, in China, and elsewhere. And so when we need them, you mentioned like at a time of war, or it could be a pandemic or a shortage or something like that. It's like you want to be able to control your supply chain.
Absolutely. I think that there are certain industries where you have to have a control. You cannot outsource your antibiotic. You know, if you're in a war with China and if they're making your antibiotic, your soldier's not getting the antibiotic. They have a huge leverage, right? So this should have been done 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But I'm happy that this is happening and we see a lot of opportunity. I mean, we have, as I was talking to you, like in last 5 weeks, I had like 3 Europeans, you know, like big European companies here.
Yeah, when I walked in today, there was a major pharmaceutical company in the conference room with you. Somebody that everybody's heard of before is talking to you about the fact that you are actually making this stuff in the USA, which is almost going to be necessary if we have big tariffs.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that for the country is good. One of the reasons we put up a manufacturing here, we could have gone any country. We could have gone into cheap labor country. We can make it anywhere, right? We decided one is that as a country, you have to have a control on your essential medicine, right? You can't depend on the third party. And even before this Trump and tariff, we made this decision way before that, right? And it was just purely that, okay, we're going to have a control on our own manufacturing. We're not going to depend on third party. And we're going to do some strategic where we can compete with the foreign manufacturer, right? So we picked this category, like the IV bags and controlled substance, right? So I think that tariff is going to be good for the industry. It's going to be good for the overall long run. Yes, there might be a little bit of cost disadvantage. But the issue is that even right now, the consumer is not getting any cost advantage because insurance company, who is the ultimate payer, or the government program that pays for the drug, they're still getting billed at a higher price.
Okay.
So the saving that you see going overseas is not really a saving to a consumer, right? That saving is earned by the middlemen. So the wholesaler or the GPOs or...
There's a lot of margin to be cut right there.
They are the one who is making the money. The consumer is losing and we're losing manufacturing.
Gotcha. One thing I've heard by watching the news more recently is that people in the UK or maybe even other European countries, they pay less for pharmaceuticals than what we pay here, and that disparity is something that needs to change.
Yes.
Walk me through that. What is that?
Yeah, so I mean, what is happening is that we're kind of subsidizing the world pharmaceuticals, like taxpayers are subsidizing it, and it's a fact, right? So all the research dollar, all this profit, they're making it here, but if they are in Europe, for example, like say same company that is selling in US, the same company selling in UK or in Canada. So Canada, for example, has a price control, right? And if they want to play in the Canadian market, they have to go with that price control, right? So I think the what you call the most favored nation is what they call it.
Right. So that's what Trump is saying, is that the U.S. deserves most favored nation status, and if that is going to make a pharmaceutical company unprofitable, then the Europeans or the Canadians are going to need to change their price.
Correct.
We are going to demand that. I don't know if that's an executive order or if he's just ranting about that right now.
No, I think I think what I like about Trump is that when he throws an uncertainty to the industry, then the dust start, and then eventually it settles somewhere, right? but at least you kind of create this uncertainty, and people like, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
we better start making it fair. What's
Right.
going on right now is really not fair. So
Right.
how do we make it a more level playing field? So
Right.
so the U.S. consumer gets a fair shake.
Yeah, and we are not right now. I mean, if you look at our healthcare costs, we're paying like so much higher than anybody in this world. And still the healthcare where we are right now, we have drug shortages, we have this and that. How can you have a drug shortage when you are paying 10 times higher than anybody else?
Yeah.
There is something wrong, right? Like you have so many drug shortages. No other country with a billion population has no shortage.
Crazy.
And we have drug shortages. And
Why do we have the drug shortage?
that's exactly what is happening. What is happening is that they have a, what do you call a GPO, group purchasing organization, right? So bunch of hospital, let's say there's a 50, 60 hospital, they all get together and then they create GPO, right? So this GPO negotiates the price with the manufacturer, right? And then they sometimes pass on the savings, sometimes they don't, right? Then you have this big wholesaler like McKesson and all these big guys, right? They have this 20,000 pharmacy that is part of their program. So they buy on behalf of 20,000 pharmacy. Now say if this GPO and this big wholesaler gave me contract to support their members, then if you are in the market, you don't have the volume. You don't have enough volume, and they're squeezing me to give me the volume.
Yeah, you'd think because they're charging 10 times as much that they would keep an allocation for the highest paying clients.
Right. No, so that's what is happening because of the consolidation in the wholesaler market, consolidation in the GPO market, right? There is this buying is done by very selected people. And that's why you see a huge shortages. Second contributing factor is also government agency. For example, FDA and other agencies, they penalize local manufacturer more than the foreign manufacturer because they have access to us anytime.
They can walk in here and scrutinize.
But if you want to go to China, you have to apply for a visa, and the Chinese government is gonna decide whether you come or you don't, and then you have to inform them that you're going. So if I come for an inspection in your facility, and if I tell you 1 month in advance that I'm coming 1 month after, of course you're gonna fix it, right? So they walk in here anytime. They're welcome, right? So there's a disadvantage we have here, right?
Yeah, so you have the FDA. What other in the United States besides the FDA? Who are the? I'll call them a pain in the butt, but they're obviously trying to keep us healthy and safe and quality control and stuff. But who are these people, and which ones are like the biggest hassle?
No, so I think that all these government agency on a high scale wants to protect the patient from the bad people.
Yeah.
But when you have just too much bureaucracy, like okay, if someone is doing wrong, is fine. But if you didn't write something which has no material impact, and then now you're creating all these,
because like shut you down.
Shut you down.
Yeah.
That's just overkilling it.
Okay.
Right. So the problem what we are having is that these agencies were supposed to protect, and they are doing a great job, right? But sometimes they overdo it.
Okay.
And there is you have a DEA, you have DEA is like that too. They have this quota problem. Like a person might be in a tremendous pain, right? But us as a manufacturer, if you don't get the quota, we can manufacture it.
Okay.
Right? And it's such a complex system they have created for.
That's the Drug Enforcement Agency.
Yeah, DEA. So there's FDA, there's a DEA, there's a lot of local pharmacy boards. There's a bunch of government agencies that is we have to deal with.
Well, is it getting worse, or have you seen it begin to improve?
I think it is improving.
Okay.
I think it's improving a lot. Now, what I think most of the government agencies also realizing that we need the U.S. manufacturing, and they are more supportive of U.S. manufacturing. We're more at a level playing field now. Before, we were at disadvantage. Okay. Now, the government agency is like, you know what, I'm going to go foreign manufacturer also unannounced, right? So there's a lot of, so I think it's overall is improving.
Okay, so in the Trump administration, as long as, it's not a political show, I never get political on the show, but just curious as to how it affects industry. So Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy has been put on, is that Robert F.? Yeah. He's now in a cabinet position. Does he oversee things within the pharmaceutical area? Or who is that is at the cabinet level that would have influence over maybe the pharmaceutical industry?
The pharmaceutical industry, I believe, mostly to do with FDA.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sure that FDA reports to him.
Okay, yeah. So it's not, but you aren't affecting anything, seeing anything specific since
No.
6 months ago when they took the new administration came in terms of like more crackdown or less crackdown.
No.
Okay.
I think it's better for us, and I think that this whole tariff, right, is helping us a lot.
Okay.
Local manufacturer, because a lot of European or even Asian companies, they make money in US. 90% of their revenue comes from US, but they manufacture in their country, right? Now there's like, we're gonna lose this 90% revenue. We might as well do manufacturing also in the country we are playing.
Yes. So we're going into negotiation. We've been negotiating with China for a long time on trade. It sounds like the talks are getting more close in terms of striking some kind of agreement. Do you have, what are you anticipating in terms of that agreement and how it might affect pharmaceuticals?
Well, so China is a major supplier of raw material.
Okay, they're the raw material of and then somebody else makes it.
Yes, so they provide the raw material, then we formulate it, we make the product. But quite a bit of raw material and even the starting material, the starting chemicals, comes from China, right? So they have a pretty good control on the raw material and packaging material. I mean the starting material. As such, we don't really have a big impact, right?
Okay.
But I think that we've been. I mean, I'll just give you an example. I go to a lot of trade shows across the world. I've been to more than 30 countries, right? And sometimes, like when you go to the trade show, the Chinese partners actually laughs at you. It's like how stupid your government is, right? Like seriously, they make fun. They literally laugh at you. It's like how stupid you are that you gave us the technology and now, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that this is kind of a good that at least we have someone that is able to negotiate some of these trade deals. Okay.
And what's the longer term vision for the company as you build this out in Sacramento? Can you just describe maybe the vision of where you're taking it?
Well, so vision here is that we want to grow this. We're looking into starting a construction for another facility in Sacramento. It's going to be 2 times bigger than this.
Oh, wow.
Because the demand that we have right now from these big pharma companies, we're going to run out of capacity by end of 27. All this capacity is going to run out.
Okay.
So we need to start building right now so that by 28, we are adding another big line. We're adding big tanks, right? Mm-hmm. Then we're also going into something called a long-acting injectable. So these are like a monthly dosing. So you just take 1 shot, is good for a month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're doing a long-acting injectable right now. We have some joint venture and partnership. So we need to build out.
So in building that out, I don't know how many millions are into this place, but I would assume like maybe 5s or 10s of millions of dollars. And so you build out something twice as big. Is this a type of thing where you get investors to help or partners to help build this out? Do you go to the bank and get financing? How do people do that?
No, so normally you go and do like a equity raise.
Okay.
So we have done some equity rounds. Also, the partners sometimes put some money up front.
Okay. You might have a major pharmaceutical company basically prepay for a bunch of stuff.
So they pay for the, what do you call a CapEx, early capex, and then when we bring the product to the market, they take their money back.
Gotcha.
But at least you get a kind of an interest-free loan, advance.
Yeah.
Right.
But it helps them because they're basically building out their supply chain. They're having
Right.
trouble with it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're looking at like the next project is at least, I would say, 70, 80 million we're going to put. And then some of them will be financed through equity or fundraising and whatnot, right?
Okay.
Some might be a little bit of debt or, TI loans and stuff, right? And then some might be the partner capex contribution.
Okay. So semaglutide became really popular. There's been these different drugs that come on the market. It might be Viagra or, in this case, semaglutide or maybe ketamine. I don't know. But what is going to get popular that people aren't talking about yet? I don't know if you want to share that on the air. This one's about to pop, but it's not getting, there's not a...
No, I think these peptides has a lot of potential. There's a newer generation of peptides coming.
Are these peptides for performance enhancing type peptides, or are they to cure chronic disease?
Well, there's a lot of application. Like even semaglutide has so much application, not just the weight loss, right?
Okay, yeah, it's for like all kinds of addiction and stuff like that.
PCOS, but there's like every day there's new study comes up, right? So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a newer versions coming, like the next generation, right? But for us, we are more into generic affordable drug. We're not into branded new innovative drug. What we do is that we repurpose the existing product. So we either convert vial into RTU bags, or we do the existing product and do the long acting, right? Or we provide this kind of manufacturing services, right? So for us, it's not a new chemical entity. We are not into what you call the new chemical entity innovation. We're into just improving the existing therapy.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've talked a lot about you and the industry and the company that you've built, but I want to go back in time a little bit and maybe just ask you some personal questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you were in the military? Is that what you said at the beginning? Oh, okay.
Government.
So you work for the government here in the U.S. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in India.
You grew up in India, and then when did you move to the United States?
Yeah, so I came, I finished my bachelor. And
in
then
India?
In India. And then I came as a student. And I did the MBA in pharmaceutical study. So I came right after I finished my bachelor.
Okay. So growing up in India, obviously India is changing fast. It's what kind of lifestyle did you have? I mean, you're one of these people that is, you're an immigrant, so you came as a 20-year-old, 22-year-old, something like that.
Yeah.
And so you're a young man, obviously highly driven. Your first job, sounds like some of your first jobs were as an employee. Right. But I sort of wonder what kind of upbringing you might have had that caused you to be the risk taker that you are and the visionary that you are. Is there anything that happened in childhood that was, helpful, maybe even in a difficult way?
No, there was nothing like that. I think what happens is that, like when I came to US, I literally had no money to buy the ticket.
Okay.
To buy the airplane ticket. You got admission in the school, but there's no money. So I had an uncle who pretty much I borrowed the money from, right? And he paid for my student fees and whatnot, right? So when you come from this kind of a humble background, right, you kind of driven. You were already driven a little bit, right? Plus what I feel is that when you are in the industry and you kind of spend all your life in a different parts of the industry, you somehow see this opportunity, right? Yeah. I mean, there was nothing unique about me starting.
You may need to put the mic a little closer.
Yeah, so
you can pull it up if you need to.
So there was nothing like unique in terms of childhood or anything. just a normal middle class family out of India.
Your uncle was obviously, must have been a hard worker. He had the money to loan you to go to college. So
Right. So he's a doctor here, and he kind of gave me the loan.
Oh, okay. He's a doctor here.
Yeah.
Is that how you ended up in Sacramento? Where is he from here?
No. He's in Los Angeles. I went to school in New Jersey. So, and then I think it's just more like there was just a passion to do something. I just felt like we have one life, right? And I was just reading some book or something. Let's say if you're in your 50s, right? And let's say you're gonna be healthy until your 70s, you got 20 years, right? But if you calculate that, that's 1,000 week. If you put it in the weeks, right? So that's your life, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of felt that way, that okay, there is just, if you want to do something, right, do it right now.
Yeah.
Right?
We have limited time.
Limited time, right? And so if you want to take the risk, if you want to build something, like who builds the manufacturing in Sacramento at this scale, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to do it, just do it right now.
If you got, just start. You got to just kind of start, right?
Just start somewhere.
And then you figured it out, and now it's become something. Is it much bigger than what you anticipated? It's got to be different than you anticipated, but is the dream bigger now than maybe it was at the beginning?
Yeah, no, beginning we didn't realize that it's gonna be, it's this big, right? Because you're like, we're gonna start with this one line, then add another. But then when we did the planning, it's like, whether you do one or two, you still need the utilities, you need this, you need that. So it's like, okay, might as well do everything, right? And then now we're talking about building, a much bigger one, right?
So your kids are 15 now, twins, and they're growing up with a father that's been highly successful. And I'm sort of wondering is there anything that you do that keeps them grounded? Is it going to be more challenging for them, or do they have the same kind of drive that you have?
No, they have a similar drive, and they're extremely grounded. I don't know. I actually have to tell them that, come on, no. My son doesn't even buy shoes. He's like, it's good.
Oh, good. And he's a golfer, right? So he probably plays all the time.
I always tell him that go get stuff. And I don't know, a lot of these kids, it's not just my kid. This generation of kids, they're not into show-offs, and somehow I've seen many other kids. They're like, nobody's in show-offs. Nobody is interested in, buying this fancy stuff.
Yeah, my wife, and this may be the difference between girls and boys, but she likes to take each of the kids school shopping, back to school this time of year. So she's taking one of them today. But I went with her to the mall the other day, and it's back to school. And these boys, they're 10, 12, 13 years old. They didn't care about buying anything. She's like, I'll buy you whatever you want. They didn't care. I think they came back with one shirt. One guy got a pair of shoes. Yeah. Somebody got a football jersey or something. And it's like, I'm trying to help you get some cool stuff for school, but they didn't want anything. So I'm kind of saying that I see that. Right. On the other hand, my granddaughter, who's 14, she's a little fashionista. She likes to, she likes nice stuff, I guess. Yeah. I don't see her as being a spendthrift or anything like that. She's a really hard worker, but she likes looking, looking the part.
No, and I think that what I do with my kids is that when they're in high school, they're already busy, right? So there's not a lot of time. But when I'm dropping them in the school or taking them for golf or something, I try to kind of implant some thoughts in their mind. Like, there is nothing important than focus, or discipline, right? And you do things when nobody is looking, you don't build this kind of stuff, you have to work. You have to keep working, nobody knows you, and then it just pops up, right? So I try to kind of, slowly, like a small dose every few days. I give them a little doses, right? That, hey, you can't replace hard work, right? If you want to improve your swing, you got to put 4 hours, right?
And entrepreneurs, if you're listening, this is like basic life skills that apply to building a business. Right. It applies if you're 15-year-old, becoming a great golfer, or you're starting a company, some of those beliefs I think apply.
Yes, and that's what I try to kind of put in their head a little bit, and I think it kind of works out. And again, like my kids comes here, so we had one major deal last week. One major deal we're negotiating, and he's in the summer break, and I'm like, I want you to sit with me and then just listen, right, and ask question where you feel like you need to ask question. Don't be afraid. If
In the meeting, he was able to be part of the conversation.
Yes, he was there, and this was like a very big CEO of a big company, and they're very smart people. He listened, and he was highly impressed. He was highly impressed. Is that wow? Now I understand the strategic importance of what you have built. So you have to kind of teach them a little bit of stuff.
Yeah. You and I were talking too, as we just kind of close out here. You and I were talking at I think one of the Growth Factory events a few months back, and I was asking, what's a day in the life look like for Jay Shukla? Obviously, you have all this opportunity that you're in the process of seizing right now, and so there's these windows of opportunity that sort of come in our lives. It might be when you're starting a company. It might be when there's a new partnership that may be brewing. You're building out a facility or a manufacturing facility. But there's those windows where you have to invest more of yourself into the business than others when things are just kind of putting along. Now seems like it's one of those times for you. You were saying you're like here till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So how would you describe this window? Is this a season that's going to last 3 to 6 months or 3 to 6 years? How would you describe the timing
so
on
I
this?
think like what happens is that when you're in an early stage like this, right, you need to set up the processes. You have to find the right people at the right place, right? Then you have to create these SOPs and all that stuff. At the same time, you're still doing your job, which is fundraising and partnership and negotiating, right? At the same time, you have to keep up with the innovative R&D pipeline, right? So there's a lot of moving part, right? You have HR, you have accounting, finance, you have sales, marketing, manufacturing, fundraising. There's like you have like
There's a lot of stuff to be looking at it. You're like Trump. You got to see everything. But you got to see the whole chessboard.
Right. But then what happens is that, for example, once you have a good R&D head that you can trust, and then it takes time to kind of trust people like right away. So, but right now I'm very blessed that I have a really good R&D head. So I don't even go to Davis anymore.
Okay.
100%. Same thing with manufacturing. You met my manufacturing head. We're slowly giving them more power, right? Same thing with the engineering head. Now more and more we're allowing them to do, like, no need to call me. Make a decision.
Yes. And then getting them to work together too, so that it becomes more seamless.
Right. And then now we actually are I'm getting very comfortable with our project managers, so that the third party customer that comes, right, I can allow them to do first or 2 round of negotiation. I don't need to sit there. When the deal is brewing, deal is ready. Otherwise, you're involved from day one, right? So I think in next 3 to 6 months, once we have the right people in place, once we have kind of a more standard processes, right? Then what we do is that we do daily track. We have like a 15 minutes daily track activity, and it's like a fast speed, right? So engineering, R&D, manufacturing, all the discipline comes, the head of them, and they just keeps throwing the action items, right? And then they all come on the table, right? And then someone is tracking it, right? So we have this kind of activity where in 15 minutes you get a picture of what is happening, where is the bottleneck, where we're stuck, right? So we've been doing that, right? So we have this we call it daily stand-up. And it's a 15 minutes daily stand-up, and everybody has to mandatory come. and sometimes you have nothing to discuss, but you just
Is it in person?
no, we just
Okay.
do it on a Zoom or
Okay.
a call.
Yeah, because you've got people in different areas.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then and then we have this Pittsburgh facility that is also on autopilot now. We have a good manufacturing team there, and we have a good what do you call the project manager there, right? So they pretty much run it on autopilot.
and they make like tablets and pills and stuff.
Yeah,
there.
they make oral tablets. So that's on autopilot. I haven't gone to Pittsburgh in like 6 months. Before I used to go every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
used
a
to
drive too. It's like a couple hours, huh?
Yeah, I used to go every day early morning. I used to go to Davis almost once or twice a week. So I don't go to LA was autopilot. So once you put the right people, once you put the right processes, once you put the right team, and then when they have the support, right, then you just back. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck.
Yeah. Okay, so just final question. What did I not ask you that would be like a good question to ask you that I didn't ask?
Nothing I can think of, but I think that I think Sacramento is growing. We have a lot of new talents coming, right, from Bay Area. I think, I mean, overall, I think it's great. It's a great place. For me, it's a great place, and that's why we're investing in Sacramento. We invested quite a bit of millions here, and we're putting a double of this very soon. I would say we're gonna be getting into that in less than 3-4 months.
Wow, that's exciting stuff. And driving, when people like you invest back into our region, it creates jobs and economic growth, and it's confidence for other people. Just all this kind of stuff starts happening just because one man decided to take a risk. So thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, I remember I came to your show when we were virtual, and we talked about it. Like, I want to open the manufacturing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Very cool.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations on your growth, and I look forward to the best is yet to come. I can tell.
Yes,
so thank you.
And once it's done, and once we start producing, I'm gonna invite you again, so you can
great.
see like an actual product.
I love it.
This is the product.
Free samples.
Yeah, you're gonna get the. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it. You bet.
Okay.
Thanks for watching today's show. My goal for every episode is that you find a takeaway, something tangible you can use in your business today. And if you have a comment about a favorite takeaway, feel free to put it in the box below. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up on the show, don't forget to let me know. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship. Because at Haney Biz, we are always by your side.